sound good. Yeah. another tune I learned from my dad, and it's all his fault for the mistakes that I made. That's what parents are for. That's what you're saying.
This is one by Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, as Huey and Dewey, we decided to dredge up this song, and it came out in 1935. That's the year I learned. No. No, not right. Anyway, we thought it was kind of a romantic and fun tune to do, but then we realized that our rival cartoon character, Pepe Le Pew, had done this tune, probably better than we could do it. But it's too late, we already got it in the program, so we're going to do it. I'm in the mood for love. Yeah. Pippi the Pooh. Okay. Yeah, so
It's always surprising.
I'll just do this with no introduction. This is a newer song. Yeah, this is newer than that, than those. This is from 1960. Most people don't know that Neil Sedaka wrote that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Matt Funicello was in the movie.
Connie Francis. Connie.
Connie Francis
Oh,
and
Connie
Paula,
Francis. Yes.
I think you're right, yeah.
Paula Prentice.
Same,
Yeah,
who was the guy?
I don't remember that.
Because I think it was George Hamilton, but I'm just.
Anyway, I love Connie Francis.
Oh, yeah, you put the bad guy thing.
I'm going to switch guitars for a
Hamilton
moment.
was the bad guy, the Hamilton.
Very pretty tune by the old son. This was a 1949 tune written by Beasley Smith and David Gillespie, and I learned it when I first heard Ray Charles do it. kids sweat till I wrinkle and gray. While I love your son, he got nothing to do but just to roll around heaven all day. Good Lord up above, don't you know I find that tears all in my eyes. Sent down and down with the silver liner. Lift me up to paradise. Show me that river. Take me across. Wash all my troubles away. I got not your son. Give me nothing to do but just to roll around heaven all day. Well, I was without a woman, tore up my kids, sweat till I wrinkle and gray. While I love your son, got nothing to do but just to roll around heaven all day. Good Lord up above, can't you know I find that tears all in my eyes. Sent down and down with the silver liner. Lift me up to paradise. Show me that river. Take me across. Wash all my troubles away. Find that love your son. Give me nothing to do but just to roll around heaven all day. Should do it for us. We're Huey and Dewey, and our cards are here in the case if you'd like to give us a call. Appreciate you.
When I was there,
And
we came up
that's how do you-
in 1970,
decide?
and it was just amazing.
As
Everything.
an appreciator?
Yeah, I would say it's an appreciation.
People comment on the art when they come in then?
Events.
What are the kinds of things that people say?
I'm in charge of that. Look at my new art. You know where you are.
Yeah, right, that's interesting, really, yeah.
Whatever it may be.
Right,
So,
yeah, and so that's good, that's good.
I would say lofty diversity.
Did she come back?
Yeah, she was up here.
There she is.
I got my 2005, and I was kind of trying to think of something that I could work in a series with, and I remember that
To get through
as a
that.
photograph,
I found that.
but I had pink hair.
Great. Here we are at the Marilyn Kent exhibit, and the name of it is
Colors of Wonder.
Colors of Wonder, yes. Marilyn has a really interesting background in how she came to do the paintings that she's doing now and what she did before, so please tell us about your history and how you arrived at
Okay,
what
well,
you're
I
doing.
got training as a illustrator in school, and I was trying to do a double major of science, specifically botany, and art. And as part of the program, I was an intern at the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago, and I was drawing plants for their herbarium notes. And so what I noticed when I was drawing the plants, from the actual plants, that they were leaving these interesting shadows. And so I started doing kind of minimalist color field pictures using a lot of shadows and jagged edges and that kind of thing. And it didn't really sell very well. And then I moved to Eugene, and I felt like it was a better environment for me because I was more, in Chicago I was just a small fish in a big pond basically. But in Eugene, I felt like I had more chances to show and sell my work. So basically what I kind of gravitated towards was animals because I had the, realistic experience of illustrating. And then also I wanted to get my experience of being a color field enthusiast into my work. So I did silhouettes of birds. I just kind of happened upon that. I don't see, silhouettes of turtles also. And then that's kind of those are the things that I started working on seriously, and I used color theory to make colors pop and recede. And it's actually, if you look at that cardinal specifically, you get the sense of there's a kind of a purple edge on the back of the animal, and I kind of try for that visual sort of play, which I just think is very interesting. So let's see.
Could you explain
Anyways.
color theory a little bit?
Oh, yeah,
Exactly what
color
that
theory
means?
has to do with complementary colors and colors that advance and recede. In other words, if you have a yellow butterfly on a purple background, the yellow is going to become more intensified because the colors are complementary colors. And I kind of try to use things like that. Like if I want a red to pop, I'll put a green background behind it and that kind of thing. But so recently I've been kind of going back to realism, or I do, like in the cardinal example, I do sort of a simple silhouette, but I throw in some realistic details. And it's time consuming to do the realistic paintings and sort of a nice break to do the silhouettes. And I keep the stuff small, I keep my paintings small just because I work in a small studio space, don't have a lot of room to spread out. And then my theory is that everyone should be able to afford a piece of art. And so basically I sell the pieces for less expensive prices than perhaps other people think feasible, but it's really, I order in bulk and I keep my costs low because I want people to have a piece of original art, because not everyone can afford a $200, $300 big painting or have a place to put it in. But I'm definitely more attuned to apartment dwellers and people with not a lot of space, so that's why I try and price it within the range of affordability.
So do you have, is art what you do, or do
Pretty
you have
much.
to have a day job?
I have
also,
two
or
day
2
jobs.
day jobs? Okay.
And both of them sort of feed into my artwork insofar as I work at the Eugene Public Library part-time, so I have a amazing source material that I can call upon, things I see. Like I saw that cicada in a book, and then I decided I wanted to paint it. Things like
Yeah, the
that.
cicada behind the door out here is.
That's a pretty amazing creature. It's not, those colors are sort of imagined colors, but in the picture that I found, it was greenish, and it's a Australian variety, I think. I'm not 100% remembering, but it's bugs and things like that, frogs.
How did you develop your original interest in art? Was it from childhood on, or?
Yeah, I was
it-
always interested in art as a child, and interested in animals and biological facts and that kind of thing. And kind of always drawing, doing something.
And Karen, maybe you'd like to talk for a minute about your becoming a gallery in addition to an acupuncturist.
Ask me a question.
Oh, well, you said that you've been showing artwork for years,
Well,
along with
here.
your practice here
Yeah.
for the last
yeah.
2 years.
Yeah,
And how did
yeah.
you come up with that idea?
Well, I'd been on the art walk, and then when I opened my practice in Springfield, I just thought I would like to be on the art walk too, and support the arts and have people walk through my clinic, and it'd be good for me and good for the artist.
And the patients are.
And the patients, of course,
Right.
yeah, they always enjoy it.
She also told me beforehand that the patients tend to pay more attention to the art after.
After session.
When they're calm, after
Oh,
yeah.
their acupuncture, then they have a much greater.
Yeah, they get up
Appreciation of
and
the
they're
art.
all slowed down, and they actually will look around. And, yeah, once in a while I actually sell something.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
great. All
Yeah.
right. Does anyone have any questions? We ready to move on then?
Appreciate your prices that are reasonable, those of us that
you.
like to buy art.
I know, they're amazing.
And I want you to have it.
That's right.
I like the little frog.
I do love like
I like the octopus.
The little frog.
of things that I can do because I have a weird disease. You have to be very careful.
I understand, Well, I'm glad you keep moving, it's good.
It is. And Pilates.
This woman is very interested in Melissa's.
Have it fried in the sun by now. Before I hand it over to Leora Spunko, I would like to make a brief mention about the Lane Arts Council First Friday Art Walk. There's a lot of work going into building a more beautiful, vibrant, healthier downtown. And the one thing that stayed consistent for over 20 years is the First Friday Art Walk, thanks to the diligence of the Lane Arts Council.
Ladies, if you
Yes,
could
please
move
stop and give Lane
so
Arts
people
Council
could
a
get behind.
Thank you, Isaac. Hi, everyone. I'm Leora Spunko, the Executive Director of Lane Arts Council. Welcome to First Friday Art Walk, Mural Tour, and huge fun concert. What a night. This is awesome. You know, as Isaac said, we've been coordinating the Art Walk for many years. We also do arts education in schools and support artists, and we're really here to support the community, engage the community in the arts. And I know a lot of you are dedicated art workers, you're dedicated art enthusiasts. We really appreciate your support of the arts and all that we're trying to do collaboratively. It's been a heck of a week. I don't know, did some of you guys go to the parade and Sunday Streets last weekend? What a blast! And then we had these incredible muralists here all week. We have this event. Tomorrow night's the Whitaker Block Party. I'm telling you, this town is becoming this incredible arts and culture destination, and it's thanks to the City of Eugene, it's thanks to our partners, it's thanks to people like you. You really love the arts, you care about the arts, you contribute to community events, and we so appreciate you. So give it up, Eugene, for supporting the arts. You know, and the city has done an incredible job bringing these international muralists. So instead of our regular art walk tour, as you may know, we are going to be doing a mural tour. So if you don't have a guide, Jessica and Lewis are around. They'll give you an art walk guide, and inside there's an insert of all the murals that we'll be seeing, and we'll be interviewing these international muralists. They're incredible artists, they're incredible people. You're going to want to hear from them. So follow us along on the tour, and you can also come back here and enjoy the concert. We just want you to have an awesome, awesome night. And all this is really only possible because the City of Eugene so values the arts. So help me thank the City of Eugene and Huge Fun and the 20 by 21 Mural Project for making this happen. Additional sponsors, Eugene Magazine, the Yo Duck Store, and World Pies. Please help me thank those incredible sponsors. All right. So as you know, every art walk we have a special host, and this host is very knowledgeable. He's actually one of the founders of the 20 by 21 Mural Project, helped connecting us to these international artists. So he's going to lead us on this mural tour, and he's an incredible local community member that has contributed so much to this project.
Hands up. How many of you seen little grates with extra little hands coming out of them somewhere around town in the last week? Yeah. Well, I'm pleased that this is the culmination of a year and a couple of months that started last March with a group of 6 people who sat around a table in one of the bars downtown with an idea. And the idea was, in 2021, we're inviting the world to come to Eugene for the World Track Championships. And we wanted the world to come here and see world-class street artists from all over the world on our walls to build an outdoor art gallery throughout the city that we're going to live in for the next 5 years and maybe beyond. Because we think this is something that once it starts, it's going to keep on rolling. And I am so pleased that for this first festival, we have had a group of 7 artists who are among the world's very best. When we started this project, we said, invite the very best in the world. Not just good, but the very, very best. And they have come. And in fact, looking around, there are artists among you as you walk. Not just the international ones, but some of the folks from Eugene here as well. I know are artists also. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here, looking at a wall that was done by a Dutch group. The Netherlands brought us Telmo Mule. And I have Telmo and Mule right here, so come on up, guys. You guys don't know what they did to create that mural. Because these guys, they arrived here with a completely different design. utterly different design, yeah? And we said, you know, can you do something different? We gave them a little bit more of a background on the city and the vibe and the nature of this event. And to their credit, I am so impressed. They sat down and in 2 days, they came up with an amazing new design that I think captures the essence of the chill of Eugene. Now, it's not quite done. Are you guys going to be working on the wall later? All right, so when we come on back for the concert, you're going to get to see Tilmo and Mule at work. So I'm going to ask them now to give you a little bit of a brief description of their inspiration for the piece.
Hello. Our inspiration, we've been here now for a week, and we sat down here last weekend to come up with a new design. We visited a lot of cities and states in the United States, but this was so far the most relaxed, mellow and down-to-earth place we've been. And most of our work is based on moods and feelings, so this design was the feeling we got here. It's like really mellow and design, and yeah, guy just hanging around with his dog, taking a nap or thinking about other stuff and dreams.
All right, so as we're walking through past each wall, we're going to pause, take a look. If folks have any questions, we're going to have a roaming mic, I think. So if anybody has questions, you'll be able to ask. We'll see if we can answer them or confuse you further. But what you're going to see is a very broad range of styles. When we put together the list of artists for this project, every single artist on our list has a completely different style of approaching street art. And that's one of the things that we're going to enjoy. Now, any questions based on what you've seen so far on the wall? See, I looked at it and I had a question. Take a look at the dog over there. Do you notice anything but the face?
Why was the graffiti art paid first before you actually produced? Why was the graffiti art come
The question is, why did the graffiti art come first? How many people saw this wall before they started painting? Did you see what they did? They put squiggles all over the wall. Like literally, the entire wall was a platform of squiggles. I asked the same question myself. And they had the answer actually written up on the wall. Did anybody see the words, "This is a grid"?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the grid that they used to plot out on a larger scale the image that they had already created on a smaller scale. So what they did is they took a picture of the wall after they'd created this grid of little squiggles, circles, ovally lines, weird little shapes, and then they superimposed that on the image so they knew where to draw the lines for the actual image. So
And I was wondering, well, have they just not finished the dog yet? Is that just they forgot to do that part? But apparently, there's a message there, right? You go down there. What's the purpose of that little spot on the dog's face that's left a little different with the orange?
Our style always is combining different layers and different shapes and forms to create one. And this dog we wanted to use maybe a more familiar dog. So there's just two pieces of Pluto, the Walt Disney Pluto, hidden in there. So the orange parts that looks unfinished is just small parts of Pluto.
Wow. Hidden messages, the first of the evening. All right, folks, so what we're going to do next is we're going to start heading in that direction. Our next stop, I believe, is going to be, we're going to head down that street, and we're going to head to the next corner, just in front of the library. So you know where the library has the bagel shop just out in front? On that corner, that's where we're going to meet and talk about the next piece. But on the way, I want you to take a look at the mural. We'll end up back here at night with a street party. You'll be able to see these guys at work on the rest of the wall. So head along. We will see you at the corner of the library, just beside the bagel shop.
Hey! It's so weird, but right in there.
more importantly?
Lady.